As I've traveled around the world photographing the transformation Cure has brought to the families it has touched, I have to admit, I've gotten attached to some of these kids. There are some standouts like Jonathan and David and Brisnelli, but none more so than Nolawit. I've been to her house a few times now, had coffee with her family. The first time I saw her, she was sitting on a mat on the floor. This mat was her sick bed as she recovered from surgery on her leg. She had a bone infection called osteomyelitis, and Cure had done surgery to save her leg. The bright and beautiful young woman would have faced life as an amputee, which in Ethiopia means you go to the street and beg for your food. So when I came back a year later, the spiritual director from Cure Ethiopia, Mesfin, and I sat down with Nolawit for an interview. We set up and things started off well enough. I was surprised she knew a little English.
My name is Nolawit Bakala.
And tell us a little bit about where you're from here.
I'm from in Addis Ababa, around Asko.
Then I got to the question about what her life was like as a child. Mesfin translates.
So as I grew up, my leg became deformed, and at school there was no problem. But in my village, in my area, all the children were insulting me and saying all sorts of bad things about me. I used to tell my mom about all the insults, and my mother had to go from house to house telling that, please don't insult my girl.
So we composed ourselves and continued on.
Then we found about Cure, and I joined Cure. So I was very happy, and I was thinking about my bright future at that time, and I was thinking that I'm going to be like other children.
Again, we composed ourselves and packed up the equipment. Nolawit invited us in to have coffee because we're in Ethiopia and that's just what you do. She made us coffee, did some chores, and caught up on homework. The same thing my kids do. Nolawit is now just like every other kid. She even said the kids who used to make fun of her are now her friends. If you want to see transformation, you not only have to look at her legs, you have to look at her face too. Here is how she felt being teased and taunted. Here is how she feels since she had surgery at Cure. And that smile says more than all the words in the dictionary or all the pictures I could ever take.